I'm so excited that you're here with me. It feels like we've been talking about this for a long time.
It's been a few months
It's
from when
just,
you first started actually with the lives.
yeah, because when I talked to you, I maybe hadn't even started or maybe had only done one. And
We were talking about how you always wanted to do a podcast, and I was like, well, this could be it.
yes. And it's so funny because now that I've been doing these conversations every week, um, my brain has, expanded and I'm like, "Oh, I could do this and this and this." And so in 2026, there's going to be some new things happening and I'm really, really excited. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us today for another episode of Leading Through the Cracks, where we have real stories, whole women, and transformative leadership. And today I have the lovely Crystal with me from Focus Flow, and we are going to be talking about capacity, honoring your capacity, creating capacity, leaning into your capacity, all the things capacity. So, yes, and we're excited about it. So, Crystal, before we really dive into the conversation, why don't you tell everybody who you are, about your Substack, and how you got to the topic of capacity?
So, who am I? I am Crystal Chitik from the lovely island of St. Martin in the Caribbean. I spent 10 years of my life living in the Netherlands pursuing my bachelor's. So I studied international business management with a focus on marketing communications and digital marketing.
Mm.
Because here it's natural for us to go to the Netherlands and study because we're of Dutch nationality.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I did that and I've been in marketing for 14 years. During COVID, like everyone else, I had my own little crisis. I just started a new job and then we had to stay home. And I had someone who was starting like a restaurant
Hmm.
from out of their home. They asked me to make content for them. So I was like, okay, I'll make content. And eventually I met my partner Tristan that same year and he was like, well, why don't you actually freelance, like offer it as a service? And I thought, So what like was the culmination of the story of me building, honoring, understanding my capacity was working my 9 to 5 and
Hmm.
managing 3 to 4 clients at a time. And then still having a
Mm.
personal life.
Mm.
It was a lot to juggle.
Hmm.
And so the past 3 years almost, I had a feeling that I had ADHD, but it wasn't until I was pregnant last year and I was talking to a friend that's a psychologist. So she basically asked me the question she would ask in a session.
Hmm.
And it was basically like, so do you think you need meds for your ADHD? Like that was her confirmation. And for me, I told her, I don't want to be on meds because I have an addictive personality. So for me, I try to stay away from things that could make me possibly addicted to the
Hmm.
feeling because I was
Hmm.
addicted of smoking weed, you
Hmm.
know? And it was a feeling that it brought, not the actual like product. So I
Hmm.
told her for me, I want to create systems around the way that I know how I work.
Mm.
And that taught me, okay, when do I feel most energized throughout the day? When do I feel most creative? And then I looked at, okay, these are my core hours. So these are
Hmm.
the hours I can give to clients. These are the hours where I can give into my creativity for the stuff that I'm building for myself. And then I manage and juggle family time with it as well. For me, it was that culmination of things. But also in 2022, when I was getting more clients, I said, okay, like I'm overwhelmed. I'm going through my second burnout. Like,
Mm.
how can I do something differently? And so I took it back to college days. You know, when we would do projects and we had to time log? I
Mhm.
time logged myself for a week.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I discovered, okay, wait, this is what I did throughout the day, all these things. This is how I felt doing all of these things. Okay, how can I make it better for myself? So then
Mm.
where do I work my best? And that's where the core hours, everything evolved from there.
Mm. Okay. You said so many things, right? I was like, "Ooh, let me remember that point. Let me remember that." Because one thing you said that I love is that you had to, you had to recognize how you best worked. Number 1, you said that, and then you also said that you had to or about the medicine. You knew yourself, you knew your personality, so you made a decision that was based off of what you knew was best for your personality and how you operate and how you function, and I think, when I'm thinking about myself and other women that I know, and I do know a lot of women that have been diagnosed with ADHD in their 30s and 40s. Um, and it's like you have to become so, like I said, aware that these are even things that are happening. You have to be aware of what you're doing and how you're doing it so that you can address things and put things, systems, as you said, put the systems in place that work for you. Because not every system is going to work for the way your brain processes and the way you're, functioning.
Exactly. Because I was the person that I invested in a crap ton of courses. Like we can ask Kelly, who's watching right now. Like I was like the course hoarder, the productivity hack hoarder, and I would try things and it would last maybe a week or 2 weeks, and then it wouldn't stick. And I kept asking myself, like, why is this? Like I keep
Mhm.
trying these things that these people are saying is working, but it's not working for me
Mm.
until Kelly and I actually discovered we had ADHD around the same time, like through like research and seeing videos and stuff. And then I was like, oh, like my brain, like I knew somehow throughout my life that my brain operated differently. That's why in
Mhm.
like elementary school, it was Crystal's so smart and she does her work so well and she finishes so quickly, but she talks too much or she's like unfocused. She's easily distracted and they list all these things. And I was like, okay, so like I finished my work quickly. So what? Like certain things were just boring for me because it was
Mhm.
just too simple and I caught on too quickly. And I realized even with certain relationships, like I would get bored very quickly and
Mhm.
everything just came together. And I'm like, oh my God, I have ADHD. My brain is different. That's why these things don't work. Okay. And it got me excited. Like, okay, how can I create something for myself
Mhm.
that actually works for me?
Mhm.
I feel so at peace knowing this now.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure it brought you confirmation, affirmation, just
Mhm.
feeling like, "Oh, yeah, this is why this is the way it is." And, um, but I'm just wondering, like, because I do know a lot of other women who have been diagnosed with ADHD later in life, not as children. What are some of the things that you notice that I guess in the way that your brain works? Like, what are some of the things that you notice that have that had been like maybe a barrier or a hindrance to you, and now that you have this awareness, you've been able to make some shifts?
Ooh. If we go back to school, in high school, I flunked out of high school by 2/10 of a point.
Mm,
And the thing is, there was this one year where I was extremely depressed because my dad had left. He moved back to Curacao, and it had me and one of my brothers like extremely depressed. And so I thought then I just don't care about high school. I don't care about studying,
mhm,
etc. And there was this one year when I really didn't care. I just did the bare minimum to pass. But some
mhm,
grades were like so bad that the last year that I had to redo my final year, I pushed and I studied so hard. Like, it was crazy how like much effort I put into it, but then what I the bad grades from before just couldn't suffice. So I
Mm.
had to go through like the community college route.
Mhm.
And so I took a longer time then to get my bachelor's. So I did 3 years of like community college in the Netherlands, and you get like your associate's degree. And then I went on. And what also helped shape it or help me understand it then is in college, certain topics were very hard for me to pick up, like economics and business law. And no matter how I tried, sometimes the teachers weren't just like, they weren't connecting with me.
Mhm.
I had this peer coach once who broke it down to me in a different way. And it reminded me of in high school, one of my cousins, he gave tutoring for maths, physics, science, chemistry. And he realized from then, I guess, that my brain operates differently. So he showed me a different way to
Mm.
like compute the stuff.
Mhm.
And in college, my last 2 years, I realized that, okay, the way I'm studying right now isn't working. So I did this thing where every semester I would study a different way. So
Mm.
I turned text into songs. I started to make an animation, like an animation type video of the thing, because I realized too that I'm a visual and auditory learner, right? So even when listening to songs, if I listen to a new song, I have to read
Mm.
the lyrics while listening to the song for it to connect. Otherwise, it just sounds like buzzing. Like I don't
Mhm.
clearly understand and hear what the words are saying, what the person is saying. And yeah, so every semester I studied in a different way, and then I took notes of notes of notes, then put it in my own words. I did audio recordings of my notes, and I would listen to it in the shower, on the train,
Mm.
to school. And that's when I saw that, okay, the information was sticking better because I tried a different way of studying instead of the typical way that they teach us in school.
Mm.
All of that were like little nuggets, little signs
Yes.
that I operate differently, but then that led me to where I'm now, where I talk to people more about honoring who they are, their brain, how their brain works, their working style to match their lifestyle. So
Mhm.
for me, yeah, it's honoring yourself as a whole, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And I have had friends and clients that I've worked with that there's like this shame um that I hear them expressing because it's like they feel, "Oh, I can't do that," or "I don't belong. I don't," you know, or even sometimes, "What's wrong with me?" And it's like, I love what you're saying because and I'm so glad that I know you because I do I mean, you're amazing, but also that I this is something that um sometimes I struggle with whenever a new person comes to me, that a woman that has ADHD, because I still work, I'm still doing that, balancing my full-time job and my business. So in my full-time job, I am a mental health coach. So I don't pick my clients. Anybody, whoever comes to, my company and gets matched with me as a coach, that's who I'm coaching. So a lot of times I often have people who have ADHD who come to me and they are trying to um usually it's they're telling me that they cannot manage their calendar well.
Hmm.
Like things are slipping through the cracks and so I'm like that's not usually a issue for me like as far as like my calendar, like there's some things, but usually that part isn't. So if I try to tell them strategies that work for me, it may not sometimes, I mean, I've gotten good because I've researched a little bit, but it doesn't always come naturally to me to tell them, to coach them through what works for them. So, that's why I love these conversations because we get to connect and share and, um, I get to tell people about you, which could help them in a way that I may not be able to help them. And so I love that. And that's something that I think you're building something around capacity. You're working on something right now?
Yeah, so I have a few things I'm working on and I'm
Okay.
launching.
Okay.
So one of which is called the Creative Flow Sessions
Okay.
and Voxer style coaching. So just like how you would be talking to your best friend using voice notes and text and like working through ideas, I realized that, especially for me, sometimes you don't feel like making yourself look good or decent to hop on a call. Sometimes you just want to shoot a quick text or shoot a quick
Mhm.
voice note to get the help that you need.
Mhm.
And for me, yes, I can work with every and anybody, but I want to work with the people who are a little different, just like me.
Mm.
Are
Mhm.
multi-passionate. Like you see me talk about multi-passionate a lot, but if you only knew the amount of ideas that I have, the business ideas I have, try to focus on one. Like 2 years ago, I was learning to tattoo.
That's why we're together because the ideas
Ooh,
all over the place.
yeah. So for me, it was also figuring out, okay, I have all these ideas. I want to bring most of them to life. When can I do that for each idea
Mm.
without putting the idea like in a box in a closet tucked away, you know?
Mhm.
How can I honor myself, honor the ideas that I want to build, but in a sustainable way,
Mm.
you know? So
Mhm.
like a new um USP, my new statement, my positioning statement that I developed this week that I feel like it's so me. It's guiding multi-passionate people to confidently shape their ideas, work, and
Mm.
businesses into something undeniable, but without sacrificing their well-being.
Yes. I love it. I love it. That's beautiful.
Thank you. And it took so long to even come down to this statement. I kept like making changes here and there. And I was like, okay, how do I want people to feel
Mhm.
truly?
Mhm.
And for me, I've always been that friend that people come to for help, that people come to feel better, for jokes, for laugh. People come to me for their ideas. And before, I always wanted to just work with established businesses because it's easier. Sometimes it's less convincing to get them to do the service. But then I was doing myself a disservice because I have a
Mm.
lot of people that still come to me in the idea phase.
Mhm.
And for me, helping people to shape and mold their ideas while honoring themselves,
Mm.
that's what gives me life. Like, that's what,
Mm.
try not to cry. That's what lights me up, you know?
Yeah.
And too often in my life have been shut down by people that are supposed to be loved ones or supposed to be family members, for example, telling me that I'm doing too much. I wrote about it where they said, just pick one idea, just stick to one thing, or you don't have to be so all over the place.
Mm.
And that caused me to mask even more. So I was already masking because of my ADHD.
Mhm.
Right? I was already going through the motions of context switching. So like going from like one task to another, one thought to another. Even right now, as we speak, when you're talking, I have to like really focus on what you're saying because
Mm,
then I'll get distracted by the car that's passing by or the AC
mhm.
or the refrigerator or my own thoughts, Like I have notes here. I haven't looked at them yet, but I have notes there. So I remember to mention certain things so I don't
Yes.
forget. And I've spent majority of my life like this. And I know there's a lot of other people who feel the same or experiencing the same and
Mhm.
want to help them understand that there's another way
Yes.
to do it. There's another to live how they want to live. There's another way to build their business and it doesn't have to look like everyone else's. It just
Mhm.
like you be true to you.
Mhm.
And that's why I also have another service I've been working on for a couple of years actually. But now, what was magical for me is in June, I started my Substack.
Okay.
Like, okay, Focus Flow used to be a planner. I created my own digital planner for
Ah.
that I was trying to sell, but never did. And I was like, okay, what if I make that the brand instead of a planner? And then that's where all my writings, everything that I'm talking about right now came to life. And that's how my business then pivoted from like online business management and marketing to coaching and consulting, things I was doing before, but old me wouldn't dare to put them all together.
Mm.
I was trying so many different ways. I wanted to be like a self-care coach, as well as a content coach, as well as a life coach, all of that. And it never came together the way that it came together now.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people and seen a lot of people online as well, who have lost their joy, the spark in the work that they're doing and what they're building. So I'm creating this like a VIP day, like an intensive, but
Mm.
workshop where we co-create. And in that day, we reset then your roles, the tasks that you do in your business, and how wait, see, forgetting stuff. So then yes, to identify where your energy actually goes. So we have like part one, which is like the capacity audit. And then
Mhm.
to part two, which is the reset strategy. So then we design systems then that work with your brain, your natural working style, your energy, your daily capacity, because everyone's life looks different. For example, with me, my partner, he is also an entrepreneur. So he's an electrician and a baker.
Mm,
So
interesting.
it mix. But right now we're focusing on baking. And so we have a good system where one night he puts Luca to sleep, the next night I do. So when one person is putting him to sleep, the other person is like gives him his bath and all of that. So we do a way to balance each other out. Like right now, he knows that I'm doing this live, and he decided for them to go for a drive.
Mm.
Peace of mind while doing this and not be in mom mode.
Love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I love, as you're talking about, I got a little teary-eyed too because I was listening to you, and talking about being multi-passionate and all of the ideas that we have as multi-passionate people. And that's really why my Substack is called Mosaic Life now,
Mhm.
because of all of the different pieces of me. And it was like how you said, things were not coming together until now for you. That's how I feel too. It's like I had to get to the point where almost like accepting who I am, like this place of acceptance, like, oh yeah, this is who I am. I like plants, I like art, I like this, I do this. Because even with my education, whereas most of my education is counseling, psychology, therapy, and then I get a doctorate in strategic leadership, and people are like, what is that about? And it's like, it's because I love systems, I love organizations, I love healthy leadership. And to me, I see how it all flows together. But it did take me some time to be able to, and honestly still it's like a continual journey of bringing all of those pieces together so that, sometimes things make perfect sense in my mind, but I may not communicate it in a way that might make sense to other people. So it's like this continual um working through and honoring myself, honoring the ideas, honoring the way I work and the way I operate. Like I remember one time I was at this event, and in this event they were basically, I don't know if you've ever heard of like when people like speak prophetically into your life. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. But it's just like we were at this event and people were coming around like almost like blessing us. Like, okay, you come, and they would speak words into our lives. And this one person came to me and said, "Oh, I see you." And they don't know me at all. And they was like, "I see you as a creative administrator." And I was like, "Ooh, what is that?" Right? What is the creative administrator? And he was like, well, it's because your brain is so creative. You have all of this artsy, just free flowing, color. Like I see all of that in you, but you have this thing that a lot of creative people don't have, and that is a very administrative, structured mind. And so being able to bring those things together, and I used to feel like I was crazy because it was like, how can I be loving this flowy, these bright colors, and I just like to free flow and I like to go to the park and play in the grass, like all these things. But over here, I need this structure and I need you guys to communicate effectively, like who's responsible for this, how is this, all of the things that come with running an organization and systems. And so he was like, it's a very interesting mix because people usually don't have both of those in their personality, in their makeup. And so he called it a creative administrator. And so as you're talking, I'm like, it's it, even though our journeys are different, it's like that same process of coming to acceptance of who you are and then honoring who you are and then creating the systems that help you to operate and flow in the way that you were created to flow. Yeah.
He said.
Yes.
No, but I love that because first of all, you're me in another life in the sense that I wanted to study psychology, but in
Okay.
that mind state of depression
Mm,
and anxiety and everything, I ended up in the business stream. But like, if I could go back, I would somehow like double major still in business management, but psychology, because for me, I've always wanted to help people.
mm,
I thought that, okay, as a psychologist and as a coach, this is how like I could get it done. But I ended up in the stream that I did. And a couple years ago, I was looking into a master's. The masters are so expensive because I
mhm.
wanted to do a strategic entrepreneurship master's.
Mm, I love it.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, I'm looking at these prices and I'm like, okay, this is a lot, but I've done courses in the meantime and my experience of the different entrepreneurs, the founders, people who've also been in their 9 to 5 but wanted to do consulting on their on the side basically. I've helped so many people with that. And I was like, Crystal, one day you could get your master's, but you
Mhm.
don't need your master's to do the work that you've already been doing. And yeah, just hearing that guy tell you too, like, hey, you have all of this in you. You don't have to
Yes.
split it up. It can be one thing,
Yeah.
creative administrator. Then that's something too.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? I know. I I hadn't thought about that in a long time, and I feel like I should probably do something with that. Like, I don't know, create something. I'll create something. But so I'll let you know when I create something that deals with that.
Same. What you're doing right now is
Mhm.
the the mosaic, right?
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
putting together the pieces for what's to come for you. So even
Mhm.
start the lives,
Mhm.
and the sip from the well that you just did,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
what you're building for next year. But
Yes.
think that for you, why do I feel like this is like a coaching session? Like you're coaching me, I'm coaching you.
Listen, I receive all the coaching from you.
Yeah, listen, you're already creating with this platform. You're already doing it, and that guy like foresaw it for you, what you didn't see for yourself yet until the last few months. It came together now, and I think
Mhm.
this is just the foundation level for where you're heading next.
Mm.
And what you're doing is so wonderful. Okay, for
Mm.
people in general, but for us women to have a platform for us to just talk and share our ideas, our whys, who we are at the core,
Mhm.
have other people be inspired by it, or
Yeah.
to also take action because of something that they heard today that resonated with them. Like you're
Mhm.
doing that for you giving women a platform, and you should be so proud of yourself.
Oh, Crystal, are you trying to make me cry? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those words for real. I really do. And I am proud of it. I really am. I really am. And I'm excited because I feel like, when something that you do or, something that you think about and you start operating in it, like you take the first step and the second step, and then it kind of is almost like it's stepping without you. It's almost like it takes on this.
Momentum.
Yes, it's like this momentum, and it has a life of its own. And that's kind of how I feel about this because okay, I'm not gonna say what it is yet, but I was texting you and Kelly. Get I don't know, yesterday. I don't know what day it was. Yesterday maybe. And remember how I said, "Oh, I'm planning this for 2026." When I tell you, that's the first time I ever thought about that as I'm typing it out. It was not it was not a pre-plan, nothing. I just was like, I mean, I've thought about doing things on that day before, but to say, "Oh yeah, I'm having this and this is what it is, blah 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 blah." No. And ever since I sent that text to you guys, it has developed. Like it has come out. It's like I'm so excited. I can't wait to send you guys the information. And the thing that I love about that is if the idea came to me in a way that I would like have to sit with it for a little bit, I could talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't even have time to sit. I just like, oh, and now they know. So now they're going to be like, well, when is it? So it's like, because I did that, it's after that, it was like all of the next steps, like the next questions I had in my mind, they just kind of came. And so then I was like, oh yeah, well, I can do this and this. And oh yeah, I need to talk to this person. And oh yeah, they can help me with this. And so it was, I guess, kind of me taking that step and recognizing the other part is recognizing. I think you and I talked about this before, but recognizing the people who- that are connecting for a purpose. That's what I saw. Like, you and Kelly, you guys have been friends for a while, I think, right? Like a long time.
Like 13 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I knew, like, when I first started seeing, I didn't know that you two knew each other at first. But I saw you and I saw her, And then she tagged you in a post and said something like her business bestie or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's it. They know each other. They are friends. When you become so familiar with yourself and so keyed into who you are and how you operate and how you function, you then can start to see other people who they may not be exactly like you, but there's so much alignment that you recognize it and you see it. And that's how I saw both of you. I was like, oh, these are my girls. They don't know it yet, but
There's you, there's Imelda, and then there's Amanda Jane Lee that Kelly and I talk about on a regular. We've known each other for like all of our lives. We've known each other like all of our lives. You'd swear the way we talk about it, I'm gonna be like, girl, do you see what Nicole's working and working on? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely sign up and blah blah blah. We just talk about it, and we also talk positively and share how we all kind of draw inspiration from each other through these little chats of just knowing each other for a few months, you know?
yeah.
Also the power of Substack. Like I said, I've been in digital marketing for 14 years,
Hmm.
you know? I've never been on a platform where I feel such at home.
Yes.
And that brings me back to the word, me and Kelly's favorite word that you just mentioned, alignment. Like I literally have it tattooed down my ankle.
Do you?
Yeah, it's one of
Oh
the, but yeah, so for me, I created my Kelly and I both created our Substacks at the same time without knowing the other was doing it. And we usually talk about everything. And just one day we both happened to talk about, we were like, wait, you're creating a Substack? Like, I just created mine, you know? And through what we posted that's authentic to us and our journeys, and through what you've posted and the others as well that I just mentioned, they're on the timeline and recognizing ourselves in pieces of you, for me, part of the alignment that I feel like I wouldn't be here on this live today had I not opened up and shared
mm-hmm.
more of the story, you know?
Hmm.
With you, like your idea of this wouldn't have developed into what it was if you weren't putting yourself out there regularly.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it is. I feel like some stuff, there's just, as you said, so much power in the platform itself. I've never seen anything like it, honestly, online. I've never seen anything like it where people are so genuinely invested in each other and supporting of one another. I have my list of people as well. I'm looking for what they're posting, like Cindy Cohn and Kate Webster and oh my gosh, I just look for them. Of course, I didn't name you two because you two are, it's obvious that I'm looking for y'all. Like, and if I don't see a post for a few days, I'm like, oh, where are they? Oh, I hope they're okay. Like I constantly, like there's this woman who was on Substack that I really connected with her. She was actually going to be on one of the lives, but she was going through a lot. She was a caregiver and there was a lot of grief in her life. And we talked like, I was constantly reading her work and she was reading mine and commenting on each other's. And she disappeared from Substack. And unfortunately, she disappeared before we exchanged information that was outside of Substack. So I can't check on her. But it's things like that. Like, just the fact that I know that she disappeared and I'm looking for her, oh no, I hope she's okay. I mean, it may happen in other places, but not as consistently and not as quickly, I don't think, as I've seen happen here on Substack. And I just think I don't know what it causes it to be that way, but it's just so different. And I really have enjoyed it. I also feel like Substack has allowed me, or not allowed, but inspired me to show up more myself, to show more pieces of myself. And I've been kind of busy lately because of the challenge and things like that. So I haven't written as much, but there were two pieces that I wrote that were more poetic type pieces that I would have never shared them with anyone before. And I'm so proud of them. And I want to do more of that, more of just opening my heart and like, this is who I am. And this is who I am. And being okay with that, like, and so it's just been a really
Right.
cool. No, go ahead.
Yeah. No, but like you said, it started with the awareness and then accepting of this is me, this is
Mhm,
all of me.
mhm,
And anyone that comes in contact with all of me, all of you,
mhm.
are like blessed AF to
Mm,
act with that word.
yes.
But like here and in the today, like there's things that I still want to do. There's things that I still
Mhm,
want to achieve. There's a house that we want to build and all of that that will come. But here in today, I can say I am happy. I am
mhm,
fulfilled in what I am doing.
mhm,
And a lot of people can't say that right now because sometimes we're too busy chasing the next thing instead of being in the moment like, okay, we say online a lot, like celebrate your wins, celebrate your little moments, but it's like there's so much truth in it. There's so much like groundedness in it
mhm,
to acknowledge where you were, where you are now, and
mhm.
love it, live
Yeah.
it.
That's why I'm so excited. Sorry, I'm just taking notes because I don't want to forget. But that's why I'm so excited about the pause sessions that I'm
Hmm.
gonna be doing because it gives us a chance to do that, to celebrate our wins. It gives us a chance to just like reflect for a moment. Um, I'm going to have them on a regular basis, and it's not like they're not going to be any necessarily long things. Some might be longer than others or whatever. That's the thing. I say on my page that they're going to be 30 to 45 minutes long, but they may not be. It's being able to, they're never going to be longer than that. They're, but it's like, what do we need
Yeah,
in that moment and being able to flow with whatever that is and getting comfortable with that um I don't want to say uncertainty, but getting comfortable with that flexibility, getting
yeah,
comfortable with being able to be like, you know what? This is all we need to do today. We just need to come in here and we needed to breathe. Or we just needed to come in here and talk about our wins for the week. Or, we need just being able to have a space to do that in community because sometimes our lives, especially with us that work from home, our lives can be so siloed. Like, we're just over here in our little space and we don't really communicate with anybody other than, whatever we're doing for work. And so I think sometimes it's important for us as entrepreneurs to have that space that we don't naturally have in our work because our work is so separate from everybody else. So, yeah.
yeah. I find one that's so amazing because, like you said, in the flexibility of it all, that it doesn't need to be the same thing every day. It's
Mhm.
what matches what we're feeling that day. And when you
Mhm.
said the word silo, it made me like chuckle on the inside because I have a note from the 14th of August where I put that we can't be silos, that we need to collaborate.
Yes.
That I was like, wait, that's so funny that she said that.
That is funny. Yes, we cannot be silos. We need to collaborate. You have alignment tattooed on your leg. And one of my days of my challenge, I talked about the balance versus alignment because I was like telling them how I have an issue with the word balance. And I was talking about Just, you know, I was talking about balance, reminding me of Simone Biles on the balance beam and how she's up there and she's like fighting for her life to stay on there and like her toes are like gripping the balance beam. And I was like, you know what? That doesn't sound pleasant to me. I don't want balance. I want alignment. Like, I don't want to be holding everything together and gripping, trying to stay on. No, I need harmony. I need alignment. What does that look like? How do I get to that? That's what I want.
And that also makes me think about the workshop that I'm working on.
Mhm.
Uh, so remember I told you I had the idea of a challenge myself,
Mhm.
but I wanted my challenge to have like a live aspect. So just how you have your videos where you upload the videos and then we watch it before we do the assignments and stuff. I wanted it to be like my video would be the live session and then
Mhm.
break into doing like the work. And I was like, yo, I don't have the capacity for that right now. So
Mhm.
suddenly I
Mm.
now into a 60-minute workshop, which is very unstructured. And I love structure because it helps my brain function better. But it's also having that flow that these are key points that I want to touch on. And
Mhm.
like, I'm going to give like a little pre work that I can do for like 10 minutes before the workshop so they can come with a level of understanding of their capacity and their well being at the moment. And so basically, the name is Well-Being Through the Shift. So, a workshop for thriving through any season. Because as you know, I talk about not sacrificing your well being for success, you know? And it's for people who are constantly stuck in go, go, go mode and feeling that like they always need to be on, especially during big changes. And you know,
Mhm.
sometimes the light in us starts to dim
Mm.
going through a new season when we're going through a change. And that causes then the magic in us to start to hide. Yeah. And I like people I know of people, and I've been there myself, where you're stuck in like reactive type of energy patterns
Mhm.
and you overwhelmed. Like I have to push through and the over hustle of it all. And in essence, like I want them to look at then intentional energy choices and thriving through any season of change. No day, no moment is going to be perfect
Mhm.
for you to understand yourself in those moments and how to adjust. Like a few weeks ago, I was feeling a burnout coming on because I started for 3 years, I was on my own. I left my 9 to 5 and I was on my own for 3 years. And I moved back to Holland last year for a year to give birth to Luca. And then I came back home and I said, okay, for now, I need a 9 to 5 again while I build back up my business and then I can go back on my own, you know? And doing that 9 to 5 and writing regularly and coming up with the ideas. That's why I didn't write a newsletter for like almost a month because I
Mhm.
was feeling it coming on. I felt it in my body. And so I took some moments to move a little more slowly.
Yeah.
And instead of like I don't really fill my days with too much work to do, but I always focus on my core 2 to 3. And then, so I like in my journal that I created, my planner, I had what's the core 3 of the day, and then what do I need to make those 3 happen. So,
Oh.
do I need what ideas do I already have? Like, what do I need to do to make it happen? And then I look back at the day, like, okay, how did the day go? What were challenges that I faced in doing certain things so I know how to adjust from there on. And so for me, it's my core message for this workshop is that people have permission. We use the word permission a lot, but it really is like giving yourself permission to put yourselves first and live intentionally.
Mhm.
It's well-being over everything. I was that person that sacrificed my well-being for all the things that I was doing
Mhm.
and wondered why it wasn't as successful, but then I also tied my success to what other people said success is instead of what it is for me, actually. So for me, like, you don't have to stop what you're building, but you can intentionally shift your approach, shift your mindset, and shift your behavior so that through those changes, through those seasons, you can still put your well being first.
Mm, I love it. I love it. So this workshop that you're talking about is coming up?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have in mind is the 1st of November. It's a
Okay.
Saturday. And it's
Mhm.
just like around this time, actually, from like I think around 12 p.m. ish, just for
Mhm.
1 hour.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. And it's really funny because Kelly, wait, before I even say this, do you see people in this conversation with us? Because it's showing me only one person. You said Kelly was watching, but I don't see her.
Ellie, I saw her mom, Jasmine. There's a few people. Yeah, it says that there's 13 people watching live, and there's a Dawn that's coming.
Get out of here. You guys, for me, it still says one person, and I have seen no comments through the whole time. So, I'm usually like trying to say hi to people. It's nothing. All I see is you, Crystal. It's like it's just me and you. So, I'm sorry everybody that's on here. I'm so glad you're here and I hope that you're enjoying the conversation. But
Yeah.
I wanted to say that you are doing this workshop that's coming up. I'm sorry, what did you call it again? Shift something.
Well being through the shift. So
Well,
thriving
okay.
season.
Well-being through the shift. And Kelly, I just saw something that she posted about some kind of shift something. I don't remember what it's called. She has something that uses the word shift as well.
Shift framework, I think it is.
Okay, okay. Well, guess what? I'm doing the Shift Well life mapping workshop. All three of us have something that has the word shift in it, which is so funny to me because I have, let me see, I can show you guys real quick if it'll come off. Yes. So you see my magnets shift. I have t-shirts that have shift on them. I have a journal. I have stickers that say shift on them. And so when I saw Kelly's, I was like, oh, she's talking about shift too. And now here you are talking about shift as well. So
Tell you
yes.
something. um, Even like I use the word shift in my regular vocabulary,
Yeah.
but when typing it, like I think of you, because for me that's your word. The shift with the red dot, like
That is so okay, well, that means I branded well. That is so awesome. And the red dot, I don't know if I've said it on here before, but I always have or try to have, if it works with my outfit, I try to have a little pop of red because that story is like I used to hate the color red and I don't know, you guys know that TV show, I'm dating myself now, but What Not to Wear with Stacey London and Clinton was years ago on. I was watching that show one day and Stacey was telling a girl that she wanted her to wear this red dress and the girl only wore black and she was just whatever. So Stacey was like, "No, you deserve to wear this red dress because red does this and like all these different and red commands attention. People who wear red know what they want. People who wear red, all of these things are they're confident and I was like, "Oh, I want to be confident. I want to be." And so it was at that moment that I really started to think about how I had been presenting myself. And it was like I had been hiding through what I was choosing to wear or not wear. I was hiding myself so that I would not stand out, so that I would not be recognized, so that I would all the things because
mm,
of all of the narratives that I told myself about not wanting to draw attention to myself or fear of being judged or fear of rejection and all of these things. And so from that point on, when I was watching that show, is when I started putting the little pops of red in everything that I did. I had already had the word shift at that time, but then that's when I put the red dot over the shift to just a little reminder and as me acknowledging the fact I'm not hiding anymore. I'm stepping into all that I am. And so that's what the red dot means. Whenever you see me putting that, that's what it is.
Oh, like, first of all, I love that backstory. But I literally thought that the red dot was for pause, to hit pause.
That's so funny. No. But the funny thing about it is my partner said to me the other day, you should put, the little sign when you're watching a video or something and the paw and it's like the two lines in a red. He was like,
Yeah.
that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of pause. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. But that's what's what it means. I just because I've had the red dot for so long, when I started talking about pausing, which was not until probably 2021 is when I first started talking about pausing. I just tried to because I try to throw the red dot in everything that I do.
Yeah.
Is that your
You want to see her? Come, look, I come. Yes, you come say hi.
Oh, I love him. He's just so lovely.
He's such a Velcro baby.
Oh, I love it.
Waited and waited long. So for me, like I take all the love.
Yes, all the love. Oh, hi.
It's okay. Is that new face?
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe one day I can come visit you because it's warm where you are and I'm cold. So,
All year round. Please come.
yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, I'm so thankful that we had this time to talk and to just, for you to share what you have coming up. It's awesome. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so sorry that it still tells me only one person is here. I have not seen not one single comment. So again, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to the comments and me being alerted about the people being on here, but we still had a great conversation and thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we're going to let Crystal go and be mommy now. And because we're going to honor her capacity, right? We're honor. Yes,
Like,
we're going to honor her capacity. But you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for joining. Next week, I will be back again on Monday with Kelly. So we're so excited about that. Hopefully, I'll be able to see who's on. But yes, love you guys. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.